Barcelona faces a great challenge. We are especially vulnerable because we are close to the seaside and a large population of 1.6 million, which means that our city would be affected in catastrophic ways if we don't reverse the situation. In fact, most cities like ours generate 70% of CO2 gas emissions, and many are not reducing this number. In Barcelona, not all neighborhoods will be affected the same way because of geography, socioeconomic ability to rebuild, or the structural quality of the buildings. However, millions will suffer and possibly die. This is a new threat that we must add to our reality.
When did you decide to join Fridays for Future and why?
I started to be part of Fridays for Future and this year on March 15 because it was the first demonstration that was quite spread through social media, and this is how I heard about it, and I decided to try what it was and to go.
Which actions have you taken part recently?
I've been to demonstrations in Barcelona, Tarragona or Reus, and I've been also to informative talks made by scientists or business people, and I go every Friday on the demonstration of Reus.
Have you seen an increase of members recently?
I would love to say a positive answer, but when I go to Reus every Friday, I can only count 10 to 20 people. I've only seen a little increase in Barcelona, the demonstration of September 27th, because it was also quite spread through social media, and a lot of people had talk about it, and there were nearly 500,000 persons. Yes, there was increase, but normally I can't see an increase.
And are you positive about this movement, or do you think that this is going to decrease along the years?
No, I think it's not going to decrease. Maybe it's going to increase, but it's doing it very slowly. When we think about the situation we're living today, I think it's going very slowly, and it must be a little quickly. Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Action that we must take is to change the way that we communicate the climate crisis, and for this way we have to start for the emotional part of the people. They know about all the climate impacts that have been affecting all around the world, and also another way to start to take care about the people is to do this in the ecofeminist perspective, that is related with the interdependence that we have and the eco-dependence. This means that we have to start to take more attention for the social and environmental relations that we have with other people and environment, and for this reason we think that it is also important to do an intergenerational link with the new movements that are taking the leadership on this fight. And we think that pessimism is taking over due to that right now the communications about the climate crisis is only focused on the data and numbers, and they are also focused on the negative impacts that have the climate crisis, and all of these are based on the data analyzed by the academics and the IPCC. But we think that if we want to change it, to change the pessimism, we have to change the way that we communicate the climate crisis, and we have to stop communicate the analytics and start to do it more emotional.
Sí, apunto.
And one of the main purposes of ODG is to do critical analysis about the impacts and also the risks that are produced by the current socio-economical system. And for this reason, we think that the climate crisis is a new opportunity to start to focus and try to change the actual system. And for this reason, we think that the slogan that are used by the climate justice movements fit in our argumentary, because it's that system change, not climate change. Really inspiring that young people are taking the leadership in this case, and also because we see that it is a great opportunity to start to doing the advocacy and also to introduce the topic of the climate crisis on the mass media. But we don't think that Fridays for Future are the only climate movement that are really important. We think that the other one, like Extinction Rebellion or CLIMATE here in Barcelona, are also quite important, because they are doing another kind of disobedience that also can inspire other people that are not in consonance with Friday for Future.
Climate change is a new reality that we must face. We cannot leave the greed of our politicians and corporations ruin the planet. If we don't commit ourselves to fight against this new threat, the world will drown. Millions are already suffering, and millions more will suffer as well if we don't stop and change our behavior. The world must commit itself, impose restrictions, bind itself to legal agreements, and stop making empty speeches and promises. Every single individual, you and I, must be committed. Political rifts between nations and economic interests must be put aside, and we must all be prepared to perform the necessary actions to change the world and to ensure the survival of our species. The rise in sea levels in Lagos threaten its shores. More hurricanes will hit Haiti. The humanitarian crisis will worsen in Yemen. Floods in Manila will destroy numerous neighborhoods. Countries like Kiribati or the Netherlands or the city of Barcelona will be wiped off the map. This is the new threat we change. Change it or it will be impossible.